Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World Daily with me, John Jordan. So news looking at today is about two blockchain projects I'm pretty interested in personally. So it's kind of good to see a collaboration there. So we have YGG Yield Guild Gaming partnering up with Splinterlands, the trading card game running on the Hive blockchain. So sort of the background to this is Yield Guild have been kind of accelerating, and they are a kind of organization that's sort of encouraging people to play blockchain games, particularly for economic reasons. So it's basically come out of the Philippine Axie Infinity community, or sort of over the last year or so, particularly when kind of COVID quarantines hit the Philippines hard. There were a few people there who basically started to help people earn money by playing Axie Infinity and effectively mining the smooth love potion that you could get through winning battles, and then either selling that off for money or then using that to breed more Axies. And because Axies are very expensive at the moment, still fairly expensive, and you need 3 of them, basically you need like $300-400 to buy the entry-level Axies to even start trying to do this. So that's too expensive for a lot of people. So Yield Guild started lending out Axies for people. So the people who were playing the game, earned a percentage, the majority percentage of that money they were making. And because it's been so successful, they have 2,000 people now playing Axie Infinity through that organization, that they've started to become a real force in the industry. So they've started to buy NFTs in other games. League of Kingdoms is one. They're a top 10 guild in League of Kingdoms already. They've bought some NFTs in Guild of Guardians, a new mobile game coming out, and some other games as well. And so this kind of partnering up with Splinterlands sort of makes total sense. Splinterlands, mainly on browser, but also they've released some mobile versions in the last couple of months. And it is a play-to-earn game. So you have to buy your cards. You don't have to actually. You can play with the cards they just give you, but they're not very good, to be honest. So you really have to sort of invest money to get cards and upgrade your cards. And then you play other people, and every time you win, you win some in-game currency. And every 2 weeks or so, there's tournaments, kind of live tournaments, and you win in-game currency and more cards and potions and things like that. So there is this kind of very strong sort of play-to-earn mechanic in there. Splinterlands, as we see here, it's been going for a number of years. It's one of the longest-running blockchain games. Over 100,000 registered accounts. About kind of 6 to 7,000 people playing daily or active accounts on a daily basis. So it's fairly active, and they're also going into this. They've just completed their land sale, so Splinterlands is becoming this sort of a more permanent sort of game. Probably not this year, but maybe a bit more next year. But they're going to launch this sort of land, and they're also launching a sort of a governance token as well. And if you own assets in the game, you're going to get airdropped this governance token. I did a video about that. So it's a game where it was kind of has quite a decent kind of player base already. Has a kind of strong economy and is planning to sort of increase that. So it makes sense for Yield Guild to get involved. So Gabby Dizon, one of the co-founders of Yield Guild Gaming, I've had him on the podcast and met sort of several times before. So he's kind of one of the sort of key players in the Axie community, and that's kind of then this is how Yield Guild Gaming has sort of arisen. So they've invested in buying. We're trying to see what it is here. So they've invested in the private token sale for these Splinter shards already. This is this governance token, because Yield Guild recently raised $4 million to buy more NFTs to invest in games, and obviously that they invest in the NFTs. They also bring a big player base. So I'll be looking to see for Splinterland how its daily activity changes when people. It'll take a few months, I imagine, but when you start having a few hundred, maybe 1,000 people from Yield Guild coming in and playing that game, we'll see how that works. They've also bought some booster packs. So this is NFT packs from the recent editions, now sold out. They bought. There's a large portion of virtual land. Don't quite know what large means in that context. But over time, that allows people to mine resources for crafting their own cards and becoming sort of economic players in there, which is really what Yield Guild is all about. It's not so much about is it a good game. It's kind of how much can people earn from this. I guess people want to play games that are interesting and enjoyable. They don't want it to be too much like work, but it's very much kind of economically driven. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And also they've got access to the spellbook. So the spellbook, some of the spellbook is a $10 upgrade you pay on your account to move from the kind of non-blockchain version of Splinterlands into the blockchain version of Splinterlands. So obviously if they're going to be taking thousands of people into Splinterlands, they kind of probably the Splinterlands people have negated that $10 upgrade payment. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. This is following the trend, Yield Guild becoming sort of big, and I think over time we're going to see various organisations like this. This one happens to be based mainly in the Philippines because that's where the kind of founders came from. But you can imagine this coming in lots of other countries. I mean, we've seen examples of people playing stuff in Indonesia, a very large country. Axie Infinity is out of Vietnam anyway, so you have a lot of these kind of developing countries with very high mobile kind of usage. So we see mobile as being a sort of key element here, allowing people not having to buy new hardware to play this sort of stuff. They're playing it on their existing phones, so entry-level phones. I think we'll see a lot of growth actually of mobile games being driven by this sort of economic kind of leveling up of the playing field, as some people see it. People in developing countries have a very hard time earning decent money on an hourly basis because there's just not the expensive services, certainly where they live, probably, unless they're in the capital cities where they just can't access those professional jobs. Whereas blockchain allows economic advantage, benefits to flow from flow globally. So you're not at a disadvantage being in a kind of developing country with kind of low annual wages. You can now sort of operate at the same level as people would do in the West, and obviously helpful in blockchain at the moment that generally the prices of these things are going up, although not in the last month. But we can kind of see what's going on here. So interesting to see that, and I hope it kind of I think it will work out well for both parties. So it's good to see as well. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. This is Blockchain Gaming World, keeping our eyes over the news of blockchain gaming. So if you like this sort of stuff, please do subscribe to the channel. But thanks for watching, and see you again soon.